This week, we inadvertently go whale spotting as a minke whale breaches right next to the boat. We motor from Asgog Bay to Otter Ferry to watch the Dunoon Rally along the shoreline of the Loch. We then relax in the stunning spa at Portavadie Marina with views of the mountains and Loch visible from the sauna and infinity pool. Hi, we're Dave and Jude, and we sold up our home and left our jobs and our lives behind to live on board our sailboat, Anamcara. Since leaving Portsmouth on the south coast of the UK, we've had quite an adventure, visiting wild Atlantic islands, Irish pubs, spotting whales and watching motorsports. We're embracing life and all that it has to offer. Come with us as we continue to sail north and explore the UK's magnificent coastline all the way up to the Scottish Islands and beyond. We'll be exploring the lochs of Scotland and the Hebridean Islands and discover the wildlife and communities on the way. We have new videos out every Saturday, so make sure you subscribe to avoid missing an episode. Well, it's another very, very still morning in Asgog Bay. Sorry, it's hard to remember all these names when we're moving every day. And I mean, as you've seen on the channel, I'm not that great at it anyway. But yeah, almost no wind this morning. This was a strange anchorage to drop in. The lochs here are incredibly steep-sided, so we had 10 meters of depth at low water, right up to the point where it flipped to less than 1 meter of depth. So we motored around a bit. Luckily, the 1 meter of depth is sandy, so it shows up as bright green water. So you can actually see that you're approaching it. And so we didn't hit anything. We just motored around, realized what was happening, and then came back out into the 10 meter shelf, dropped the anchor. It bit first time, and we haven't moved since. Absolutely spot on where we were yesterday and where we dropped the anchor. And now there's one more boat in the anchorage with us. They were here when we got here. Another boat was just leaving when we arrived. We went into the beach briefly. We were going to go in the water, but there are thousands of jellyfish. We got some footage of that with the 360 camera underwater, so should be able to show you those, but just a surprising number of jellyfishes every 2 meters 10 feet kind of distance in all directions, and it's in 3D as well, and it's different species of jellyfish. So from the big barrel jellyfish that I think we mentioned yesterday, those are a couple of feet across, 30 inches I think Jude said, which would be, I don't know, 60 centimeters, something like that, probably slightly bigger, maybe 70 centimeters. Two little tiny baby jellyfish, moon jellyfish I think was another one. There's all kinds of different species all over the place, and even when we went into the shore, they were all washed up on the beach, dead. And then this morning, it's quite horrific really, that the tide obviously came in and washed them off of the beach, but there are now hundreds of dead jellyfish just floating out to sea. So it's not the most appealing water for swimming that I've ever seen. It's crystal clear. You know, as you go into the beach, you can see the bottom once you're off of the 10 meter shelf and into the slightly shallower bits. And it was warm enough to swim for sure, but yeah, I don't like jellyfish, not while I'm swimming. So today we're heading up the Loch. So if I turn around, you'll now see this way is Loch Fyne. This is one of the first lochs you get to when you sail up towards Scotland, unless you go in towards Glasgow. And so we're going up to a place called Otter Ferry. There's a car rally thing happening this evening and tomorrow. So a friend is going to bring their boat out as well. We're going to anchor up and watch some cars going fast along the coastal road. Probably go out to dinner and then just chill out at anchor tomorrow as well. So yeah, but we will definitely be motoring today. What wind there is in the direction that we're going. but I think there's probably only 1 or 2 knots of wind. The forecast is for almost nothing as well. So if we put the motor on and we go 3 knots, that means we'll actually have 2 knots of wind in front of us, apparent, which is unhelpful, because if we tried to sail into that, it's not real wind, so it would soon disappear. But yeah, beautiful place to wake up. We've taken hundreds of photos, I think, and looking forward to another sunny day in Scotland. As expected, we're motoring, currently up Loch fine. Probably been going for maybe an hour, and it's pretty tedious. Sounds like the radio was about to go. So yeah, there's absolutely zero wind. I didn't even bother putting up the mainsail, which is pretty rare for us these days, because I knew that we wouldn't be sailing, so there's really no point in putting it up. The water is completely flat, you can see behind us, so it's not even like it would stabilize the boat. It would just be raising the main for the sake of raising the main and then putting it down again, which is just work that we don't need today. Loads of boats out on the water. I'm actually genuinely surprised how busy the Loch is, and the marinas are completely full, and it reminds me quite a lot actually of the Solent. Slightly less busy than the Solent, but it is incredibly busy here. I think partly because the Crinan Canal is up that way, so there are people transiting through. Glasgow is back around the corner, so there's an awful lot of people living there, and then obviously the people around here just must like boating as well. For the some of these marinas are very inaccessible from the mainland anyway, because to get to the stuff on that side of the Loch, you have to drive all the way up the Loch, around and then back down. Probably a 3-hour drive to get around, so it must be locals in boats or people who are willing to get a ferry across to use their boat. So yeah, very, very busy place. Today it's nice and warm. We're both in swimwear for a change, which you don't see very often in Britain. And I don't know if you can see behind me, I've put the big flag on. The other boat in the anchorage had a flag that was almost touching the water, so I thought I would put my big flag out, which sometimes we like to have a big flag when we're like representing the country, or if there's an event on or something, we'll put the big flag out just for a bit of show. We've also got the string of flags to go up the mast to dress overall, the signal flags, which we have only done twice, I think. But yeah, flags are a bit of fun on boats, and sometimes you need a bit of fun because it can be really dull just sitting about. Even with the epic countryside around in the mountains, once you've seen it, you've seen it. So that's 5 minutes of fun, and then you're getting on with your day. So yeah, here we are, sort of relaxing, just moving up in a dead straight line, motor humming away, recharging the batteries though, that's always nice. So, but yeah, we'll update you later. Also, there's a super yacht Gnome tied up behind us. Interestingly, that one was in the Isle of Man, so Jude thinks that it's following us. They may think that we're following them. If you're watching, I promise we're not following you. And if you're following us, I suggest you stop. So yeah, we'll update later.
Very threatening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're following us, I'm going to threaten them. Just that's on them, really.
Huge though, right?
Yes, that's what's scary. I'm currently filming the surface. A whale that's about the size of our boat just breached right next to our boat. We think it's a minke whale, or minky whale, I don't know how it's pronounced. It didn't occur to me that I would need to know today. Just seen another one in the distance as we're going up Loch Fyne. Crapped myself doesn't quite cover the feeling of seeing such a large beast right next to the boat, especially after all the orca talk in the Mediterranean. There have been no attacks up here, and I'm confident that it wasn't an orca, but it's when you realise that these animals are the size of your boat, you realise what an insignificant thing that you are out on the water. I was going to say ocean then, we're not on an ocean, we're up a loch, but absolutely incredible sight first thing in the morning. I wish we'd have caught it on camera. We've got a couple of photos of a previous one. The one I saw in the distance might be the one that breached next to us. It's swimming in that direction and could well be faster than us, so we might have missed our opportunity for a video. If that's the case, then the photos that we do have I will overlay on the screen, and it will just be still images for you guys. But hopefully we'll do better at some point. There are lots of whales around here. The stocks of whales seem to be increasing these days due to conservation efforts, so it seems to be much less rare to see them than when I was growing up, certainly. So yeah, I was doing this clip partly to keep the camera rolling so that if we saw one I could flip it around and show you. But that's the trouble, you can't see where they are or when they're going to pop up. They just pop up, surprise you, breathe out, breathe in, and then they're gone, leaving you terrified and frustrated that you didn't get any footage. So it is what it is. I guess if you want to see it, you should buy a boat, move on board, leave your job, sell your house, and come out
To Loch Fyne.
and move to Loch Fyne, yeah, or somewhere else where there are plenty of whales to see. But yeah, highly recommended. What an experience. I've never seen that before, or anything like it. We've seen dolphins, but dolphins are about the size of humans, and whales are definitely not the size of humans. It's a completely different experience.
We are just arriving at the oyster catcher. Is it oyster catcher bay, or is it
Oyster
just...
catcher is the pub. Otter Ferry
Otter
is
Ferry.
the village.
Well, yeah, so we are just arriving at Otter Ferry. We still haven't managed to sail, although now the wind has picked up for some, as we've just rounded this corner, so we could probably put our sails up for 2 minutes and then have to drop them as we're about to get to the anchorage. So we're not going to do that because we are lazy. So yeah, there's the anchorage and some mooring buoys in front of us, and it's been a nice adventurous trip with lots of wildlife on the way. But yeah, we're going to drop the anchor and have some lunch.
We've arrived at Otter Ferry, just next to the oyster catcher pub. There are a bunch of moorings just over there, but there's also an enormous anchorage here, so plenty of space for everybody. We've decided to anchor just so that we don't have to pay. When there's a good anchorage, there's just no need, and it sort of irks me that a lot of anchorages in the UK are now just filled with mooring buoys, so there's less space to anchor overall. So where there is space, we tend to use the anchorage just to show that it is being used partly. But yeah, really nice warm day. We're just Jude's downstairs preparing some lunch. Dead low water, so we've arrived at the right time for anchoring. It's always nice to come in at low water, you know you're not going to run aground then, and the only way is up, as they say. So we will get a couple more meters of tide, but we've got plenty of road out, we've got plenty of space here, I think, and should be a good spot. And then we will probably go ashore in a little while just to have a look around, possibly pop into the pub for a pint while we wait for our friends to arrive. Although there is a boat sailing in just now, so we've not spoken to them since yesterday, and this boat looks like it might be their boat, so we'll see in 10 minutes or so whether that's them. But they said they weren't leaving till lunchtime, and it's lunchtime now, so shouldn't be them, but it does look like their boat. So yeah, we're going to go and eat lunch now. We've got some fried halloumi wraps with some salad. We eat that quite a lot on the boat because halloumi keeps for months in the fridge, and it's a tasty snack in the day. And then yeah, just relaxing and sitting around, I think. That evening, we anchored up next to the road to watch the Dunoon Rally. This event sees many roads in the area closed for the day or evening while a staged rally takes place. We were lucky that the stage we saw started from the Oystercatcher pub we spent the afternoon at. The following morning we moved to Portavadie Marina, back up the Loch next to Asgog Bay. This is a fairly unique marina that includes the marina itself, a hotel, restaurant and bar, as well as a fully equipped gym and spa. The views from the spa, sauna and infinity pool were amazing. We could see wide views of the Loch and the surrounding mountains while we relaxed. After a few busy days, we relaxed at the spa. It was midweek and poor weather, and we had the place to ourselves, allowing us to get some good footage for you.
Join us next time when we sail from Loch Fyne to the Isles of Bute, where we anchor at the beautiful Burnt Islands. We sail to the Isle of Bute at Port Bannatyne and take a bus over to Rothsea, where we explore the town and the famous Victorian toilets.